Hey German, this video is to show you how to do the Times Web entries. Probably the longest one I got. And like I said, a preface to it, the Times Web is set up to act the trucks back and forth from the postal, in and out from the postal plants to the THS. And the way this was set up originally was set up where eventually you're going to have a website where, I'm sorry, not a website, it was going to be a scanner function where these guys can scan all this information in. So there's a lot of information that gets added in and out, but it was really designed to use for a scanner. Because some of this stuff I'll show you, shortcuts. Because it really wasn't designed for you to input all this information at one time. Now, the input is like this is would be the SAMS unit outside, which Sharon and Roman uses to do the tags. So let me show you. So you click on the Times Web, click agree. Now sometimes this takes really long to load up. Because part of it says, continue to this website, this website security certificate. So you go ahead and continue. Then you enter Times Web. Now the ID and the password is the same as for the SAMS login. My ID and password for the SAMS deal. Excuse me. So it takes a minute to load this thing up. That's probably the longest thing is in actually loading it up. Because sometimes it takes really long to load up, and I think the system was hanging up. So this Java thing pops up. It's going to ask you about continuing. I'm going to click continue. Then it's a couple minutes. There's going to be an issue where it's going to pop up about blocking or unblocking. Now you want to make sure that you unblock. You need everything unblocked, because if you block it, you won't be able to access all the Times Web and enter the information. I said for this part, it takes a little bit of time for this part to actually get it loaded up. Now this is the part I was telling you about that comes up when I paused the video. It actually took probably about 7 or 8 minutes. This is the part where it's not you want to block or unblock. So you put don't block, and then the Times Web website should come up. Now the way this is set up, you have the date it's from, and then the date through. Now, because what I need you to do is just input it from when you come in on the AM shift. The way this is set up, the information has to be input by 7 a.m. The next day. So the PM, since the PM shift all occurs on one day, they'll only have till 7 a.m. that next morning. So like say for example, today is Thursday. By 7 a.m. Friday morning, all the PM shifts have to be input. Now the AM shifts, since your shift starts really around 11 o'clock, from 11 to 12, those have to be input by 7. But then after that, the midnights till 7 in the morning, those are technically part of that Friday morning, so they don't have to be input till Saturday morning. So, like I said, because Sharon also does this, so she can help assist with this. So go ahead. The way this is set up is the dates from the way it's set up is 07/2/21/2016, July 21st, 2016, from midnight through 07. And because usually I just backdate, so I'll make this 20, and then 07/21/2016 to 11:59. The direction is both. It's in and out. You can either select the inbound or the outbound, but usually I put both because the way this is set up, your truck routes have to match on both ends. So it's each truck route has an in and out. So for example, if you have 20 trucks in the facility in and out, that means you have 20 inbounds you have to take care of and 20 outbounds. So that's 40 data entries that you have to take care of. So it's a lot. The facility for our THS is OAKTH, or Terminal Handling Service, and you'll click Query, and it'll bring up the menu for the trucks. Now a lot of this stuff I already did. I'm trying to think where I stopped. I stopped part of the AM. Yeah. So I stopped at midnight for the AM. So I'll do one. And the way this is set up, there's two different types of truck routes. There's what's called a PVS, and those are the actual postal drivers. And then there's a contractor driver. And the way the information, you're using the same information, but the way that they utilize is just, the way you input is just a little different. First, we'll start with the PVS driver, 1701. And it's a 945 VS, means it's a postal driver. I'm sorry. Let me start off first. The status, EN, means en route, meaning they've updated it from the plant and it's en route coming to you. The destination means either the inbound and outbound. So it's an inbound, and it has the route number 945 VS was for Oakland, and has a trip number. Now, when the drivers come in, they're supposed to have a slip with their trip number. That's what makes it easy to track. Oakland is notorious for not having all the trip numbers in there, so sometimes it's hard entering information. You don't know which driver is part of which trip, especially if they're like 5 or 6 minutes apart. And then they have the scheduled time of days, their scheduled date and arrival time. So, for example, this guy is scheduled in on the 21st at 12:15 midnight, and it's from Oakland. Now, this all would have been documented on the paperwork that you would have had that the guys do at the truck dock. So, since it's en route, we'll click it, and then it brings up their arrival, the arrival date and the actual time. So, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that he came in on time. So, 12:15. It's his vehicle number, his ID number, Mr. Jefferson, to be unloaded, and it's yes, a load properly secure. Now this is, you have to pick yes or no. Yeah, it just means if it's strapped or not. Usually all the trucks are strapped. Now the unload start time I use is arrival time, so 15. The seal, they're not concerned with the seal for really any of these drivers. So this seal, click in the field and you can tab past and it automatically puts his non-seal. Now the percent fill is a percentage fill of the truck. And usually we round these off by 5%, because what happens is every OTR is 5%. So if you have 20 OTRs, that's 100%. That's 100% truck, and that's what this really is based on. So percentage, say 69s, we're really talking 70%. We're talking about 14 OTRs. And I know sometimes you get BMCs and OTRs, and that's where the issue is. This was really designed for a scanning system, because when guys had it in the scanner, they could actually scan, and the program would take it and figure out whether they scan OTR or scan a GPC. So it was really nice. But this is, like I said, it's went away from that, and now it's a lot of manual entries. The unload end time I just put as 10 minutes after. It's pretty much standard, like 10 minutes after the arrival time the truck is unloaded, so 0025. And then you have to input the actual trucks. Now the first column F is for the ones that are filled with mail, and E's are like empties. And I know technically, like sometimes we send empties out. We need to put this information in, but really to speed this up, and that's all I do is make this simple. On the inbound, you get trucks inbound full of mail, and they go out empty. Standard deal. On the outbound, unlike the PM shift, the trucks come in empty and go out full of mail. That's it. So now the F is for, basically if it's for mail, or E is for empty. GP is for GPCs. OTRs are for the OTRs or BMCs. Hampers, HAM stands for hampers. Those are the little cloth carts that mail comes in. You don't see that too much. PAL is for pallets. WIR is for the wire cages that come in. And FSS is I don't know what the exact definition is for, but it's that freestanding mail that comes in the cardboard, like the Gaylords. So, say for example, this truck came in and had 20, and say it had, since it was 70%, it had 14 OTRs. So 0, 0, 14, 0, 0, 0. This has to be done for the postal drivers. Then you just go down here to save, and you'll say save all. Now when I save all, it updates it, and you're given a successful update. So now this is the status. Instead of en route, it's UE, means updated. So, and that's it. That's all it's done. Basically, the knock on this thing, as far as how we get dinged, is the only thing they're recording is the trips that don't have any entries. So no one really looks at the actual entries themselves. They just look to see whether or not the trip has been in there or has been canceled. That's it. And I'll show you a shortcut if you get pressed for time and you just want to just end it, make this quick. Now, but each trip has an in and out. So on the inbound right here, it has the I. It has a matching outbound. So you click to this. It has this vehicle ID number. Now to be loaded, since like I said, these are technically empty trucks going back out, just highlight it and just put empty. And now what ends up happening, all the unnecessary information, it drops out. So you don't have to put the stuff in red. So we'll just put that he left at 0030. Go down to save. Save all. And he's done. Now let me go to 115. This is an inbound. It's en route inbound 95L1. That's from San Jose. So that's me. This is a contract driver. and it has from San Jose. Scheduled in at 7:21 at midnight 20. So you highlight him. Now this is the part that's a little different. You can say, for example, he came in on time, and I'll show you what happens when we do late. Come in on time, 0020. His vehicle ID, Jose. It's, oh my God, they got this wrong, horribly wrong. It's actually just Jose Escobar. I know this driver. So it's Jose Escobar. You put their first name in, their last name, and usually for the first name, you just put the first initial. That's good. Now, issued a 1550. That is if the truck is technically late. You're supposed to issue a 1550. We don't deal with that, and so I always put no. And a 5466 is a delay code, but it's a delay that if it wasn't attributed to the post office. And this is like a totally separate piece of paperwork. So that one, I should go ahead and click no. Now, to be unloaded, it's yes. Was it properly secured? Yes. Now, the unload start time, like I said, is the arrival time 0020. And you just tab to the location. That doesn't matter. Tab. And I'll say when you tab to the seal, technically you're supposed to have a seal number in here, meaning the seal number they put on at the plant is supposed to match the seal that's actually on the truck. We're supposed to verify that, but that's one of the things we really don't get into. It's really not like a hot topic, so I just tab past it and click no seal. Now, percentage full means the percentage. That's it. Like same applies to the other the regular postal drivers means the percentage fill. Now, the percentage bed loaded means some of the I don't know, for whatever reason, they allow them in the system to be able to bed load a contractor. You're not supposed to be able to bed load a postal driver. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is in the system. So the bed loads are 0. You do your preferred mail is always no. We don't deal with preferred mail. The only mail we deal with is priority mail. So priority mail, and you'll highlight yes. And express mail, even if express mail is on it, just always click no, because it's really kind of a non-factor for us. Because like I said, this was designed for a scanning system. So to make this easy, just click no. Then unload end time, 10 minutes after 0030, and I'll put GPC 00. So 67%. So say it's 65. So each BMC is 5%. That's about 13 OTRs. 0. And that's it. And click save. Save all. And I'm done. Successful update. Now, the matching route pair for the postal drivers is really weird how they do this. If you notice for the 1701, the matching route is the same. The matching trip is the same trip number. For the contract drivers, they have a trip number in, then one higher is a trip number out. So it's 115 in, 116 out. And that's just the way it's set up. But now for the contractors, the information doesn't automatically populate from the inbound to the outbound. So you have to manually input it every time. So say, for example, his vehicle ID is JK5330, and it's Jose Escobar. When you're departing them, you have to actually manually put this in, JK5330, and to be unloaded. And I'll make this easy. Just go empty, and you tab. So all the other fields just drop out. You don't have to put the rest in. So seal, no seal. First name, like I said, just put the J, Escobar. And like I said, with the postal drivers, the name field automatically populated from the previous truck route entry. And I don't know why they do it on the contractors, but it's just for the postal drivers already populated, a little one less step. So then we'll say you left at 0030, issued 1550, say no, and then everything else it doesn't apply. And we go down to save all, and it should update as a UE. Now, these routes that are CX, those are supposed to be cancel routes, and those are canceled. We can either cancel them or cancel by the post office. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes they cancel a lot of routes and input routes after the fact. Or one thing the post office does, and they shouldn't, is say, for example, a truck route's supposed to leave at 12:45. If the truck leaves at 12:50, they'll cancel 12. And we're talking about the same trip. They'll cancel the 12:45 and just create a new route that says 12:50. And that's been a problem because you're creating a lot of unnecessary work for us. We're trying to decipher what's what went where. So, and you can tell these created trucks from the post office by they'll be in red, like this FXT1. That's a created postal trip. Now I'm going to go to one trip to show you what happens when the trucks are late, when you're putting them late. So now for this en route, postal 945 VS, which means postal driver, trip B 1631 coming from Oakland, scheduled for the 21st at 12:45, and en route. Now it's Lee. Actually, they have this backwards, Lee Woodard, and the way these people put this in, there's no rhyme or reason, but they have his last name and first name switched up. But anyway, the arrival date. So say if he's scheduled at here 14:45, what I'll do is I'll put, say, came at 0050, 5 minutes late, and when I tab across, I'll leave all the other stuff there. The schedule remarks highlights in red, meaning that you have to input this entry. For postal drivers, when it's when the truck comes in late, you have to have a schedule remarks, and what you're supposed to do is put in why the reason it's late. You can't input too much information, so I just type in late, and that's it, and they'll take care of it. So to be unloaded, yes. Properly secured, yes. Unload start time 0050, not sealed, and I'll change this to 100%. It's 99 and 100, same thing. Like I said, always leave the express mail, no express mail. We're not supposed to get express mail on the outbound. Unload in, we'll leave that as 10 minutes after 0050, so we'll leave that as 01 o'clock. It says 100%, that's 20 OTR, 00, 20 full, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Save all. And now that's updated. Like I said, there's a lot I'm throwing at you, so but I'll show you at the end the shortcut part. Now for the matching outbound trip, 1631, we'll go to that one. And to be loaded, like I said, since these are all coming in on your shift and going out empty, load it, we'll just click that and say empty. Now it does have a section that says highlighted no. Now that means to be loaded, it really doesn't apply to your shift, but sometimes on the PM shift, or in particular, actually on your shift, take that back, the Reno truck comes in with mail that they don't download. So when you're supposed to be downloaded, it says to be downloaded. Sometimes we'll click no because that mail is just not supposed to be downloaded. But it's kind of too many extra entries for me. So I just put if it's empty or to be downloaded or uploaded. That's it. So you click empty. All this other stuff doesn't apply. And now, say for example, if we left at 105, so you're going to put 105, and the schedule marks comes back up again. So let me go back up to the schedule. So if I put 1 o'clock and tab, the schedule remarks goes back to blue, meaning you don't have to input it. So we'll just put 105 and type in late. And save all. And that's it. Now let me do. I want to do a postal driver. I mean, a contract driver from San Jose. The only contract drivers we got are from San Jose and then from Reno. So I'll throw a contract driver from San Jose. Say this one 51. Put him in coming in late. So I highlight him. He's en route, inbound 95 L1. That's San Jose. Trip 51. Now he's scheduled in at 12:50. So now for him, I'll put, say he comes in at 1 o'clock. Now once he comes in at 1 o'clock, then these other sections that you have to put in get highlighted in red. So 1550, that's just a delay report. So technically it was late. They're supposed to issue a 1550 out of, somewhere. We're supposed to do it. They're supposed to issue it out of San Jose, but we never do it. So click no. 1546, click no. Now for the contractors, they ask for a delay code. Now delay code, and this is just something that deals with contractor. You'll click it, and it has all these issues, whether or not it's contractor's failure, unacceptable equipment, mechanical failure, overload, adverse weather conditions, vehicle accident, postal accident, trip cancellation. And to make this easier on myself, I just click other, and that's it. And schedule marks, just type late. Now to be unloaded, strap, yes. 1 o'clock. And let me show you a shortcut now with seal. You just tab past it, no seal. Now a shortcut for the contractors where I don't have to enter all this, the GPC information. If you make the percent bed load here equal to the percent full, this information here all gets turned where you don't have to input it. Let me show you. I click here and type 49, and you see right down here all that information just goes away. The red goes away, so I don't have to input it. And like I said, again, it's a shortcut. Like I say, it's not the perfect world, what we're supposed to do, but these guys don't check the truck entries, and it's a lot of information you're trying to input in one night. So, the shortcuts help me, get this stuff out. So, priority mail, highlight yes, everything else we know. Unload in, say 0110, says, it's came at 1 o'clock, so 10 minutes later. Save all. And this is, okay, this is trip JK5320 J. Rodriguez. So outbound 95L152, that's his matching outbound route. He's supposed to be out at, say, 105. And his unload finished at 110, so we take 5 minutes after that, up to 115. So we're going to highlight him. And again, for the contractor, you have to automatically enter each entry on their trips because it doesn't populate. So JK5320 to be loaded, no. Highlight pass the seal. First name J. Rodriguez, and so I left 011, say 0115. He's late. So now the 1550 thing comes up. We have to highlight no. 5456, no. Click the delay code, and just put other, and just put late. Save all. And like I said, this has to be done for each and every trip. Each and every trip. Now, let me find another example. Now, sometimes the post office doesn't enter the information into their system. And let's see, like if it's not updated here, usually the information on the status, this information is not input. Like, let me go for right here. This postal driver B1581 from Oakland. The information is actually in there. It's actually in there. Try to find one where it's not in there. Okay, this trip 6 from Fresno. He's a contractor. So if you don't have information in for the trip, what I usually do is because I said I'm making it as easy for myself as possible, just go to options and cancel the trip. Now when you cancel the trip, since it's a contractor from Reno, it says Fresno, it's a 1550 issue, you'll click no, reason, and you go out and just click other and save. And this cancels the trip. Now once you cancel the inbound, have to match up, cancel the outbound. So I'll go to options here, cancel trip. No. And like I said, this will be the same doing as a postal driver, but the only thing you won't have that issue 1550. That won't pop up. I don't know why they do it with just the contractors, but it's every time. So those are your originating trips. They ended about 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you go down here to starting at 5:55, that's when the first trips are coming in for the PM shift. And I'll highlight this one contractor. It's Jose Escobar. The date is July 21st, 2016. He's scheduled in at 17:55. So just say, for example, he came in on time. We go 17:55. His name, you can tab past all this. 1550, no. 36, no. To be unloaded, and all these, all the PM shifts are all empty coming in. You just click that. You do have to either type no seal, or you can type no seal, or what you could do. Let me go back to it and delete it. You could just tab into the field and tab out, and it'll automatically populate no seal. So then you save all, and that's updated. And then its matching pair is, since it's a contractor, is 80, has the same same route number. It's 80. It's for San Jose. And like I said, you have to input this information back in. This should all be on the truck sheets. Input this information back in. So JK5330 to be loaded, yes. Date. So just pick his route time, 17:55. Tab. Now the no seal. Technically, what we're supposed to do is the guys at the dock, because Javier Paris write out a seal number. So this is, and they give it to him on a separate piece of paper. We're supposed to match that into the system. But like I said, the way this was designed, it's supposed to be done with a scanner, which makes this so much. All this data entry stuff, it was done by a scanner. So when these guys are doing the trucks, they're scanning. Say they're scanning the truck in, they're scanning the driver's badge for the driver in, they're scanning the seal to match the seals up, and they're scanning the pieces of equipment in and out. So you're supposed to be doing a lot of scans, but it takes care of a lot of information. That's the way it's designed. But you just tab out of the seal, percent full. So I just say if this truck had 20 OTRs, I'd say it was 100. And like they said, the shortcut again, put percent bed load is 100. So the other field doesn't pop up. Let me tab up to it. If I left this blank and tabbed again, I'd have to input over here GPCs, OTRs, hampers, pallets. So like I said, it's too much work. 100, and it drops out. Preferred mill, no, never deal with that. Priority, yes. Express, no. End time, say 5 minutes after, so we're talking 18:05. The guy's name is Jay Escobar. Departure time, and the departure time I usually leave either the same or 5 minutes after for the departure time. So 18:05 or 18:10 be the same thing. 15:50, no. Load secure, meaning it was strapped. Yes. You go down to save all, and you're good to go. And that's basically how this works. So like I said, it's a lot I'm throwing at you with this, but I know Sharon does it, so ask her to give you some assistance with it, so you can do the truck trips in and out. But like I said, most of it, if you came down to you're in a pinch when you're doing this, let me go down to one of these routes. Or say, for example, let me find something that doesn't have. Okay, this route B3005 supposed to be there at 7:50 for Oakland. There's no information in it. Technically, it hasn't left yet. If you want to cancel, just click Options, Cancel, Reason. And this, since it's a postal driver, you don't get that 1550 thing. That comes up, and you click Save. Okay. So technically, if it came to worst, you didn't have no idea, or it's taking long. Because like I said, I've been doing this for so long, it takes me probably about 15 to 20 minutes to do. If both shifts were empty, it would take me 15 to 20 minutes. But I know when I first started doing it and being green on it, it took me like an hour and a half to do all these entries, because there's so much information if you're trying to get it right. So, but if worst came to worst, when you came in and you just wanted to make sure you didn't get dinged for missing entries, you just go ahead and cancel all the trips. No one checks in times as far as the actual information. Nobody checks, I guarantee you. But they just want to check that Times Web score is just a reflection of unrecorded trips. So as long as you cancel a route or put some type of information in, don't leave it blank before 7 a.m. the next morning, it's done. You're good to go. So I hope this answers your questions. Like I said, when I get back, we'll train more on it. But Sharon can give you a little more help with it. All right? Thanks.